In this video, I'll show you how to build a simple timer in JavaScript. The timer can work on almost any website simply by pasting in this JavaScript code right here that I'll add in the next few minutes. To begin, I already have the starter index HTML code and it's pointing to the script.js file and it's got a defer attribute, so that's why the script tag can stay in the head right here. But I'm not really interested in index.html because I'm going to generate everything using the code in script.js. So to begin with, I'll first clear everything that I have inside the body of my web page by setting the inner HTML property on the body object to an empty string. I'll set the time left variable to 10, and I'll also set the time left display to document create element, and that element will be an h1 heading. And now I'll update my code or my web page so that the time left display inner text is equal to the time left variable, which is of course 10. Since I have the live server running on port 5500, once I press the Ctrl S to save my changes in script.js, that will update my page. But of course, the number 10 is not showing right here because I still need to add it to the DOM of this web page. And that's quite an easy thing to do. I'll just do document.body.append child and then time left display. Ctrl S, and that gives me an h1 with the value of 10 showing inside the h1 tags. Okay, so obviously I also need a button because that button will actually be what will trigger the timer. So let me declare a new variable and I'll name that variable startBTN, and I'll set it to document.createElement, and that element will be a button. So that button is passed as a string argument to the createElement function on the document object. And now I can update my startBTN object with inner text property set to start. It's got to be a string, so start countdown. I'll save my changes, and now again it won't reflect in the DOM because I still need to add it to the DOM. So now I'll just do document body.append child, and this time I'm appending the startBTN object, and that now becomes a button with the text of start countdown. To make the button work, I need to of course add an event listener to it. So on the startBTN object, I'm invoking the add event listener function or method, and I'm listening for a click event, and I'm passing that click event, that event listener, the second parameter of countdown, where countdown is actually the function that I'm gonna code, and this function countdown now will use the setInterval facade function. So that setInterval facade function accepts an anonymous function, and inside of this anonymous function I'm checking if time left is less than or equal to 0. If that is true, If the value of time left is equal to 0 or less than 0, then I'm going to run the clear interval method with time left set to 0. Continuing from here, I'll also update the time left display inner HTML to the value of time left, and finally I'll update time left to be equal to time left minus 1. And I want this interval to happen every 1000 milliseconds, that is every 1 second. So basically what this is going to do, it's going to run the set interval, run the anonymous function, this one right here, this one right here. It will run it every 1000 milliseconds, that is every second, and every second it will lower the value of time left by 1. But if time left is less than or equal to 0, it will clear the interval, meaning it won't run it again, so it won't continue running this function right here, and time left will be 0. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Let me save all. And now when I press start countdown, you'll see that 10 becomes 9, then 8, 7, and so on. And by the time it reaches the 0 value, it won't continue the countdown. So that's it. A pretty simple and easy implementation of a timer in JavaScript. Of course, there are many other ways to improve it, but this is a solid point and a fun little exercise in working with the DOM and adding some interaction to your web pages using JavaScript.